Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes,
And I am Crucifix.
and today, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna cast a tourney of sorts. It's a blue. It's a blue. It's a bronze, silver, gold tournament between oHo and. Do you know the name of the other clan, Sharp Eyes?
Comp. Uh,
Ah, COP. Well, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We have a good number of players to choose from. I think it'll be a good tournament. Hopefully, I have to be a little bit biased, hoping oHo wins, especially since I'm one of the possible contenders. But I'm sure either way, it's going to be some good games.
Absolutely. I mean, this tournament is gonna be composed of bronze, silver, and gold players, meaning that they're probably going to do a lot of powerful plays.
Indeed. Well, I think you'll find that. See, the thing with bronze, silver, gold is it's actually kind of interesting. Last week we had almost all silver players, but this week we have almost all gold players. So, out of all the BSG tournaments you can see, I think this will be the most skillful, or at least this week, because we have as many gold players as possible. But either way, I think it's going to be exciting, and hopefully there's not too much cheese, but just just enough to get your blood flowing.
Absolutely. I mean, cheese is good, but if you have a little bit too much cheese and you're lactose intolerant, well, that's a big issue.
Right, 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 right. Hopefully they took a few of those lactose pills before they started playing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So our first contestants here seem to be Laydown versus Alaris.
Awesome. Two gold players. Should be fun.
Looking like the game will be starting.
Okay, great.
Derelict Watcher TE. The TE stands for
Turbo Edition.
close enough.
What does the TE stand for? Testing Edition? I don't
I
even know.
think it's tournament edition, but I
I
don't quote me on
see.
that.
Yeah, no, it probably is. Do you have any idea what the difference would be?
Well, the tournament edition is reserved especially for tournaments such as this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that piece of knowledge there. I think I would say that I think it's the fact that actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of the Zelnaga watchtowers are any different. And there never was any gold minerals on this map, so I'm not really sure what's different. I'm sure some of you out there know, but in the meantime, we do have in our lower left-hand corner the is he playing gold? I think that's the gold Terran Alaris.
I
Might
think
even be orange. Actually,
I
that
think
might be
it's
orange.
orange, but it does look like a slight gold tint.
Yeah, it's probably orange. And
And and in
Sharp Ice,
the
he's playing in the upper right.
upper right hand corner we have oHHo lay down.
Lay down. He lays down his opponents one by one.
Absolutely. But so basically if he were to 1v2, then he would lay both of his opponents down.
Well, he would do it one by one, but it would take twice as long. As long as the second opponent was patient enough to wait until he was done with the first opponent and then start building everything.
I see.
Right. We are gonna have a probe scout sent out by Laydown to see what's going on with the Terran base, which happens a lot. Do you think there's gonna be harassment from this probe scout, or do you think it's just gonna get the info that it's looking for?
Depending on the playstyle of the Protoss player, we should see a difference, but it actually does seem like the probe won't be harassing, or maybe it will. I'm
Maybe
not
it will.
sure.
Let's see. I don't, and
Oh, and it
well, I
so
don't know. It's real. And we do see a little bit of harassment, but he's trying to get, and he goes straight for the guy on the barracks, and it's looking like he's just trying to delay this barracks as much as possible. I don't think he's gonna get a delay down, but he was annoying, so that's always good.
I'm pretty sure those two SUVs are related somehow.
They probably are. They're probably bros for sure. And the probe does set down a proxy pylon for future endeavors, which is always a good idea.
One
And it does look. Sorry, go ahead.
one interesting thing to note about this proxy pylon is that if it doesn't get discovered, the Protoss player will toss down additional ones regularly. But if it does get discovered, then the Protoss might be a little bit set back. But we'll see if the Terran player actually discovers this.
Right. I mean, actually, as it is right now, he could even block the Protoss just by killing that one proxy pylon. So that'd be bad. Now we do have the injured SCV here out to fight. I guess he figured, you know what, he's already injured. Why don't you go die while getting some good info for me? Looks like he did see the double gas, but I wonder if he noticed if the Protoss player hadn't yet put all hadn't fully saturated that second gas yet, which he just did after the Terran scout left. So, what do you?
Actually, according to the vision here, we actually don't see that the Terran player notices double gas. He
Oh,
only spotted
really?
one of the gas geysers,
Oh,
so
wow.
maybe the Terran player might think that that the Protoss is going for an early game attack here.
Right. Well, yeah, and I mean, it just is this whatever it's going to be. It is going to be a heavy gas. A heavy gas. Oh, and a little bit of a wasted chrono boost there on the gateway as he tries to chrono boost out that stalker while being supply blocked. Now he did finally get himself out of that situation, but that was after the chrono boost already let down. But as I was saying, whatever the situation is, it's going to be gas heavy build because he is mining from 6 gases already, getting a little bank going on of gas for the future warping in scenarios. And meanwhile, he's taking his expansion into the natural.
And going back to the Terran player, we do see that he has a few buildings in production here, looking like a barracks and a factory. So will we see some Widow Mine play here?
Indeed. That's very possible. He is building. Yep. So it's looking like he went for kind of a one barracks fast expand situation. Does have his orbital all up and ready to go on his natural expansion. He built 2 more barracks and then a factory as is normal. What I'm surprised to see is a lot of players will choose to build a barracks, their expansion, 2 more barracks, and then will put add-ons on all 3 of those before building their factory. So that they can be building the maximum number of Marines while simultaneously researching STEM, and then they'll devote that gas to their factory and their starport. But he decided to get his factory before he put on the add-ons. Meanwhile, we do have a stalker in the natural, and we have a zealot and 2 zealots and an additional stalker plus a mothership core. It looks like the recall did go down on the rest of those units. I don't think that was. He did see. It looks like he did kill a few SCVs over there in the natural expansion, but maybe not as many as he was hoping.
Absolutely. I mean, he tried to kill quite a bit of units there, but ended up having to recall.
Right, right. And honestly, I think if those Marines had focused that zealot a little harder, I think they could have killed it before the recall went down.
Going back to the Protoss play, we do see that he is trying to saturate both his bases here with double probes in production and +1 on the forge. Crucifix,
Indeed.
what do you think of this +1 upgrade early game?
I mean, I would say it's a pretty normal timing for a +1 upgrade, and I think that the Terran player, if he has his engineering bay down, I think if he wants to stay up in the upgrade game, he really needs to think about researching that himself. He is going for a pretty typical build here, which is being made difficult for him by being supply blocked like he is right now. He is unable to build any Marines, and his army is not as big as the Protoss players. He already has he's already down 10 supply. Just jumped really quite a few supply there once he got unsupply blocked, as he now can build 2 Marauders and 2 Marines at a time, plus a couple medevacs. But he does need to get that upgrade in order to stay competitive when it comes to that first big engagement that we'll hopefully see somewhere around the 10-11 minute mark.
Absolutely. Looking over here, we do see that Terran player is floating his factory over here. What do you think he's doing with this factory?
Well, he's definitely going to use it as he's using it as a scout factory for sure. He's either attempting to do that, or he was going to use it as a far off proxy factory to make Hellions or something. But I think, but looking at the waypoints that are associated with it, I think he's just using it as a scout factory, which is an okay idea if you really are gonna just commit fully to bio, which is fine. But the thing is, when you use your factory like this as a scout, it tells your opponent, okay, I am for sure going super bio, and I'm not going to be building anything out of a factory anytime soon, because there's no way you're going to use it. Oh, and we do have those Marines and Marauders finding that proxy pylon and taking it down before it's used. So that's good on him. Doesn't quite supply block the Protoss player at first, but does keep him on that side of the map. Meanwhile, as I was saying, it tells you when you use a factory or a barracks as a proxy. It's helpful, but it also tells your opponent exactly what you're doing, because the Protoss player now knows that the Terran player is going bio exclusively, except for the medevacs, and he doesn't have to worry about any Widowmine or Hellbats, which are both very good against Protoss, and I'm actually kind of surprised that he's choosing to do that. We do have an engagement going down over by the potential third, and a dual drop into the main. The drop into the third didn't really do too much damage, but this drop into the main looks like it's going to do a lot more if he can get some damage done before the Protoss player can pull his whole army. Looking like he's just going to take what he has left and get out of there. Honestly, I thought it was a good try at the double-pronged attack, but I don't think it did as much damage as he was hoping it would.
Honestly, if I was a Terran player right now, I'd feel pretty disappointed.
Yeah, really, as far as economic damage goes, or any lasting tech damage, it was like zero damage, because the third base wasn't even up, or hadn't even started. I'm pretty sure it hadn't started. I don't think he got a cancel on the Nexus, because I don't think it had been started to be built yet. But if it had and he got a cancel, that's a small victory. And we do have him marching across the map now, and the Protoss player does know about it. So I think this is where we're going to have our first big engagement here. We do have Storm ready from the High Templar, don't we? No, not quite. But
and
yes,
a Storm goes down on top of the Marines Marauders.
And now that he's going to go in for a second one.
Another Storm just totally
down.
decimates the health. Oh my god.
And he tried to stem back into the army, and then the Storm went down again. And so those Marines and Marauders just didn't have enough health. But very smart move by the Protoss player not to just push right into the base, because he actually probably would have lost that, because the reinforcements from the Terran player were waiting back there. But smart move by the Protoss player to take his victory and just pull ahead with his army supply farther and farther, because we already are at a 115 to 88 supply game. And hopefully we're just going to get farther and farther ahead now, or at least that's what the Protoss player wants to do. Now we do see a drop coming down, going to the right side, and probably going to come back up towards that third again with 4 Marauders. And it does look like we're going to have another engagement here. The Protoss player is going to try to take that third base down, and the Terran does not seem to want to let him do that.
Back here to the Protoss base, we do see that 5 more gateways are cropping up here. Looking like the Protoss will opt for a gateway-heavy build.
Indeed, looking like a lot of gateway units are going to be coming out. Does he have a robotics bay or anything to make Colossi yet? Doesn't look like it. It looks like he's going to go gateway plus Templar, which is fine if that's the way you want to do it. As far as SCVs go, the Terran player actually has more saturation on his third base than the Protoss player does, which could lead, and the saturation on his main isn't that good compared to the slight oversaturation on his natural, and it does look like he is going to try to move in here. Snipes off that medevac very nicely, going to go straight to the third base. Oh, but no, we do have a big stim plus a Storm. It's looking like, oh wow, yeah, it's looking like this Terran army is just kind of, may just get destroyed, and the GG is called. 1 victory down for oHHo laydown.
Very wonderful game by both players there. We saw a bunch of High Templars making their key storms, and that was what won Protoss the game.
Yeah, indeed. The use of storm, the use of storm, getting those High Templars out made all the difference in those army battles. You don't want to try to take on a stemmed medevac Terran army just with gateway units. You need those High Templar. In some cases, you need Colossi, but you need one of them. And the fact that he had that storm, that AOE damage, made all the difference in those battles, and he was able to win that game very convincingly.
Convincingly indeed.
Right. And really, also, if you think one thing is the Terran player was on 3 bases, had a good SEV count at all three, but he was still only on 5 barracks. And if you're going to go straight bio, the number you really want to get to is about 8 or 9 barracks on 3 bases, because you would think, oh, I'm already at 5 bases. If I add one more barracks, I can't be adding almost double the amount of. If I add one more base, I don't want to add double the amount of barracks because I'm only adding one more base. But the way it works is once you get enough SCVs, by the time you have your third base, you're done building most of your buildings by that time. Your factory's already up. You've already started your upgrades. Well, almost all your money's going to start going into is units. So you will have about double the amount of money to spend on units when your third base gets up and saturated. And so, yeah, you need almost double the production to keep your minerals low.
Absolutely. Not having enough production is the downfall of many Terran players. As with the Terran race, it's kind of easy to just forget production structures and just try to make a bunch of Marines from 1 or 2 barracks. And
Right.
this is very crucial to note for bronze and silver players out there.
It really is. I mean, I've personally died many times with over 3,000 minerals in the bank. I've lost a game with that much money because I don't have the barracks I need. And you think you're in the lead and you're like, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm so far in the lead. I don't even want to worry about making more production. But then you make a mistake. Your whole army's gone. You're like, I need to rebuild, and you're trying to rebuild, making 5 Marines, 10, 6, 7 Marines at a time, and it's just not enough. You need those reactors. You need those tech labs on multiple bases with a big economy behind it to be able to rebuild your army when you need to.
Absolutely. I mean, the first time that I played StarCraft 2 and I picked Terran, I had over 6,000 minerals and 6,000 gas, and I was like, well, I guess I need to make more Marines. So then I started queuing more and more Marines, and so
Yep.
I literally
Yep.
didn't have any idea what production was or even how to
Yeah.
make more buildings.
Yeah, back when I was a bronze player, I thought that as long as I kept my minerals low, even if that meant queuing like 5 Marines in each barracks, as long as I was keeping my minerals low, I was doing a pretty good job. Like even though I had like 100 Marines queued, but that's some mistakes that people make that over time, and as you learn, you realize that a queued Marine is a bad Marine.
A bad Marine indeed.
Indeed.
All right, I'm Crucifix. I have a burning question to ask you, actually.
What's that?
What is your favorite Terran unit?
That's a good question. My favorite Terran unit, I've got to say, it's kind of like it's a tie between the Widow Mine and the Marine because the Widow Mine is it's just really good. But I think that I think the Marine really, it's so versatile. It gets powerful as the game goes on. It gets combat shields. It gets stim. You can use medevacs with it. It's mobile. It's fast. It hits ground. It hits air. It's the first thing that comes out of the barracks when you very first start the game, and it's a mid. It's a early mid and late game unit. I really think the Marine is what makes Terran. It's just such a good unit. I really like it a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, if Terran didn't have Marines, would they use?
Right.
Marauders? I don't think
Exactly.
so.
Yeah. Nope. Definitely not going to be using Thors all the time because that's way too big. Way too big. And you can't stim a Thor. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be? If you got stimmed Thors with giant ass combat shields, it'd be awesome.
I think that I would actually like to see a stimmed Thor, as I would like to see what kind of syringe powerful and big enough to inject a Thor's massive arm.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy, and especially because I think how it works is the Thor is kind of like a big mech, right? And and then there's only a little guy. There's a guy, a normal human, like in the middle, steering the whole thing. So the syringe would have to go into the guy in the steering the Thor, and I think the syringe would be so big that it might just, go right through his body and impale him, killing him instantly and rendering the Thor useless. So that is
Actually,
possibly why they decided not to have that happen.
that's an idea for a new unit. I mean, have an ability that has a percentage to kill the unit
Mm.
inside,
But
rendering
if it
the unit
doesn't,
immobile.
pretty darn good. Looks like we are going to get this next game started here sometime soon. It's looking like Laydown versus Duo Aussie, so that should be pretty fun. Hmm.
Hmm. One interesting thing to note here, his clan tag is Team UR, which is very different from the last clan tag.
Oh, that's true. That is strange, but maybe they're, it's sometimes it's hard to find, five players at the last second. Maybe they're borrowing from other clans, which would be kind of weird. But maybe he just hasn't gotten around to changing his clan tag yet. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Indeed.
Indeed.
Who are you? Is what's in our chat right now. What?
So it will be looking like Orca is in the spectators here. Shout out to Orc.
Oh, and it looks like Orc has been removed immediately after he's been said. How did Orc even get in there? I think Orc snuck his way into the fight. Okay.
So it does look like a blue versus orange matchup again.
Mm. I'm surprised because I think orange is like the worst color. It is nice to cast a game. Or how does Orc back in? Orc, get out of here.
Or keeps on joining.
Orc.
Or can you hear us?
Oh my gosh. What is this kid doing?
Host, you suck. looking looking like some BM.
I am PMing Orc right now, telling him that he is a troll. Okay, now Hippie Corpo says, "What the freak?" And then Mersmatic said, everyone ready?" And then Sharpeye says, "Ready." I think J is AFK. I actually said I think J is AFJ, but that doesn't make any sense.
away from Jambalaya.
Away from Jumble. Yeah, I don't think so. Away from the party. Now let's see. Oh, I see. He says, Orc says, I just want to watch. I just want to watch. I just want to spectate because the stream lags for me. Well, that is true. But unfortunately, we have a rule here in this competition that only 2 people per team, plus captains, may spectate the games, Orc, and you are not one of them.
Poor Orc.
Poor Orc, indeed. Now, it looks like the game is all ready to go, and we're going to be playing on Akalon Waste. Do you like this map?
I actually love this map, but I hate it when facing Protoss, as Protoss can easily wall off their third, ensuring that I lose the
Can't
game
use it?
immediately.
Okay. Do they go like fast 3 bases or something and then just like roll over you?
I don't even know what Protoss is up to, but I hate Protoss so much.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I actually would rather play Protoss than Zerg because I think Baelings should each go into all the Baelings should get in one big room and then slit their throats as like a mass suicide because they think that they're all that and they're not and they kill all my units. It sucks. Now It's looking like pretty normal play so far. So
Actually, we haven't introduced our players yet.
oh, that's true. We should do that, and I'm gonna start. So take that. In the upper left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss coming down for round 2. Can he close it again? oHHo, lay down.
Laying down his opponents one by
By
one.
one.
Alright,
Yep.
and in the lower right-hand corner here, we have our orange or gold Terran team. You are Jawoozy.
Jawoozy makes his opponents woozy, like sleepy, because they're also woozy from losing so much.
Actually, I mean, both players here have a name that kind of
Yeah,
makes their opponent sleepy. So
exactly.
I don't know.
And like your name, like if you were to battle, it would be like Sharp Eyes. He makes his opponents have really great vision.
Actually, the
Oh, and
the
he actually might get a. Oh, and he does not. He doesn't get the SEV kill. But it is looking like he's gonna go back to his base now that he has a hurt probe, or maybe he's just gonna let those shields recharge, build his pylon, and then go back for some more. We'll see what happens. What were you about to say?
I was about to say that the name Sharp Eyes only applies to myself, so only I have the Sharp Eyes in this matchup.
See, and this is very interesting coming from the Terran player. We saw a 13 gas and then a 14 orbital command before making a single Marine. Oh, a Reaper, actually. But usually you don't see that. You don't see a 14 orbital command. 15 is normal and 16 is also normal. But 14 is quite early, and I'm surprised that's going to happen. It is looking like this probe here is going to is going to die. Is going to die by this Reaper if the Reaper Micro is okay, and I think that's kind of why he's sticking around to see what comes out of this barracks, and let's see if he's able to get the kill. He should, as Reapers are faster than probes, so it's literally impossible for this probe to survive, and it does go down. Meanwhile, now the Protoss player is aware that it's going to be coming to his base, needs to get a Stalker out, which he probably will have by the time the Reaper gets over there. And there is and meanwhile, we don't have Warp Gate research quite yet. It is getting chrono boosted out of the Cybernetics core as we speak. But now that the Stalker and the Mothership core is out onto the field, he should have no problem killing this Reaper here, or at least getting it to run away. Honestly, I think this Reaper might just go down, given the path. Well, actually, no, it might get away. Oh, and the SCV block. The probe block was perfect there. The Reaper had a very good chance of just escaping, but then those probes got in its way, and the Stalker and the Mothership core gently caressed it to death.
Sounds very relaxing.
It was. He was like, "Oh, well, this is pretty." Oh, so that's sort of like.
Alright, back to the Terran player. We actually do see another command center being put down here, and a barracks and a factory with a reactor on it. Will we see some reactor switching?
I don't think so. We already have a reactor. We could have a reactor switch with the barracks to the factory, or he could just go straight for Widow Mine production and maybe try like a 4 Widow Mine drop or a 4 Marine 2 Widow Mine drop, depending on how he's feeling. This is a pretty late expansion. I think he was hoping that the Reaper would stay alive. It's not too late. It's probably, you say it's a late expansion because it's later than a 1 barracks fast expand, but a 1 barracks fast expand is just that. It's a fast expansion. So this would be classified more as a normal expansion.
And it does look like an armory will be coming down here by the Terran. Possibly some Thors or Hellbats.
I think Hellbats Hellbats are very good against Zealots, and I think that would be a good idea to make some Hellbats early on. And also, what might happen here is the Terran player might just go mech, because the fact that he made the armory but no engineering bay is not common. And when that happens, it's usually because they want to get the armory upgrades instead of the engineering bay upgrades. But even so, it's a good idea to build an engineering bay because of the buildings it unlocks. But meanwhile, we are going to have a small engagement here. The Stalkers tried to push in, saw those Marines, went back immediately. They'll probably make sure that there's no third base, and they will take down 1 Marine. Yeah, the Protoss player knew that he could not push in there as he would have died. I don't think he knows about these Widow Mines though, because when he pushed in, they weren't there, and when he went back out, they were. And see, now I think he's going to try to go up this ramp, and at least one of these stalkers is going to die. Maybe both. No, one of them does go down, and it's looking like he's going in again, going to lose the other stalker, and now all he has is Zealots on the field. I wouldn't be surprised if he just retreated. I don't know what the Terran player is doing. He has way more than enough to kill all three of these Zealots, plus this Mothership Core, but maybe he's just biding his time just for a second, get those Hellbats out in front, because of how good they are against Zealots, and the Protoss player is now on
will that Widow Mine go off and blow up? Oh my god, oh!
Kills the Hellbat. Oh, no. No, not quite in time. It did kill one Zealot, but it killed the Hellbat as well. And honestly, I think that Widow Mine, unfortunately, did a little bit more damage to the Terran player than it did to the Protoss, at least that second hit. The first hit from both of these Widow Mines was very good. I mean, to kill two Stalkers, with two Widow Mines, and them being your opponent's only two, is very good. So I thought that was really fortunate for the Terran player there. Now, Sharp Eyes, what do you see? What do you see as the continuation of this Protoss build in the near future here?
It is looking like a bunch more gateways will be produced, indicating that the Protoss might just mass up on tier 1.5 units.
I think he's going kind of the same build he went last game, where he went mostly gateway, and then he's probably going to throw a Templar Archives in there later on to get him some Storm. He does have some Immortals in here this time, and I think the Immortals are in a response to the more mech heavy play from the Terran player, but. I guess Immortals would be good against Hellbats, but against Marines, they're not nearly as good. What do you think about the choice of Laydown to get Immortals? And it looks like we do have a drop coming in that the Protoss player sees, and if this
will that dropship go down? I think it will. I think it will. Oh, and it does go down, and the Hellbat gets finished shortly after.
Yep, that was that medevac, once they saw those stalkers, should have just turned around. The fact that what I think happened is he rallied the medevac over to the back of the base here, and then once he realized what was going on and took control of his medevac, it was too late by that point. So unfortunately for the Terran player, Woozy over there, that did not go as well as he was hoping, and it looked like a second push out may happen from the Protoss player. At least, and it does look like we have a quadruple Hellbat drop going to go down into the main once again, try to get some damage done. And this actually can do some damage if the Terran player does it correctly, because these stalkers are all out of position and are moving out onto the map. So this could do some big damage here if he doesn't pull his probes in time. And it's not looking like he is. He's getting massive probe kills here. He's cleared out almost the entire main. Wow, that was a lot of probe kills, and he's most likely just going to take those Hellbats and go right to the natural. Hopefully he does not get caught by these stalkers again, because that would be just detrimental, and it's looking like he is not going to. He is going to go right to the natural, though, and these stalkers, unless they have blink, aren't going to be able to get down there in time, but he does warp a couple in. Oh, but he's going to try to do the drop anyways. Going back to the main, actually. I like that play. I was scared for him. And those stalkers still aren't going to be able to get back there. I think he's going to try to toast a couple more here, but he is now out of boost. I think he should just go home. He might end up dying here. He's at least going to be trapped. He's at least going to be trapped over here. Can these stalkers hit him from there? Yes, they can. And there's nothing they can do. This medevac's going to go down. But he can't hit the second one. The boost does go off in no direction. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think this medevac is just going to stay back here, a looming threat to encounters in the future. Protoss player going to throw down a photon cannon to prevent harassment, and going to keep some stalkers there to make sure that those Hellbats will never escape the space that they're now trapped in.
All right, back to the Terran player. We do see that he has. He is going to build yet another command center here, possibly getting a third.
Right. Yeah. I think both players so far have been doing a really good job at keeping their minerals very nice and low. The Terran player already has 5 barracks, a starport, a factory, an engineering bay, soon to be double, and 2 saturated bases. So I think he's doing a pretty good job so far. Might even have a little overproduction because I'm not sure if he doesn't really have enough minerals to produce from all of his buildings right now, and I think that's why he's going for that third base. He could look into because I think maybe he built maybe 1 too many barracks, maybe 2 too many, and it's looking like he's gonna kill those rocks down by his third base in an attempt to put that down. It's floating over there now. Sharp Eyes, do you think both players are going to try to just max out, or do you think we're going to see an engagement here pretty soon?
I think the Protoss is feeling a little bit antsy here, as he will be scouting with these 2 hallucinating phoenixes, and will be moving out accordingly as he did not see the size of the Terran army.
No, and I think that and he doesn't have an observer over there either, which is strange because I know he has some, but I think that the Protoss player needs to do some damage here because he is now down a base, and you don't really want to be behind a base when you're playing Terran because they're if they can really get going, they can build really powerful units very quickly. But it is looking like the Protoss player is going to destroy these rocks and the sensor tower. The Terran player now knows about this, pulls the drones.
Oh wow, very interesting play here. He has hallucinated a couple of colossi here.
Oh, he
making
does.
it seem like his army is
he has a better army than he does. This is very interesting. The Terran player might get tricked into focusing down these colossi, and wow, the force fields are actually quite good. But if the Terran player doesn't look like the Terran player fell for it. Didn't focus down those colossi with anything other than his Phoenix, his Vikings, and now we have a position where the Protoss player is in retreat. The Terran player may just decide to go straight to the Protoss base. At least is going to do that with a medevac. It isn't going to pull his whole army, but it is. Oh, it looks like he did decide to start marching into the Protoss base right now. As we are currently, the Protoss player has no Colossi, no High Templar, only Stalkers, and he does shut down that. He does, however, shut down several Vikings. All of those that drop immediately. And do you think this is going to be GG for the Protoss player, or do you think he's going to recover?
I think it might be GG as the army count. Looking at the army count tab here, is about 80% in favor, or 90% almost in favor of the Terran.
Yeah, by the time it was done, it was like 153 to 52 supply. I didn't think that. I thought that it wasn't nearly good enough. And really, I thought the deciding factor there was just better macro by the Terran player.
Macro, macro, macro. I mean, you hear it all the time, but what is macro?
Well, it's everything that's not micro, I guess, and scouting.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about making production buildings, making sure that you're constantly making workers, making sure that your macro mechanics are fine-tuned by always keeping your minerals and gas low and balanced. Now, keeping them balanced is key, as you don't want to have 10,000 gas and no minerals.
Right, exactly. I mean, when you're playing bio as a Terran player, if you're not building a lot of widow mines, and you're not building tanks, widow mine, not widow mines, but if you're not building if you're not building a lot of widow mines, you're not building tanks, you're not building marauders a lot, you actually don't even need a fourth gas, excuse me. You actually don't even need a fourth gas. You really only need 3 so that you can support your medevac and your marauder production. But if you are going to choose to go into tanks, widow mines, and stuff like that, that's when you can take that fourth gas at your natural expansion and fully saturate it. But if you're not gonna build those units, you don't even have to take that, and you can get more minerals, and that'll lead to you not having a situation where you have 80 minerals and 500 gas.
Absolutely. I mean, if you get gas too early, that's definitely really bad, as you don't want to um, lose out on mineral count early game, as most buildings in the game cost a ton of minerals.
Correct. Very correct. Looking at the summary from that last game, I don't know, Sharp Eyes, I don't know if you still have it up or not, but even if you don't, just going kind of over what happened there, I think, as we said, I think the macro was just better for the Terran player. He collected almost 5,000 more minerals than the Protoss player. Structures is always going to be in the Terran favor because of how many structures they have to build. So that's not really an indication of how much better he did. But units, he built basically even 6,000, almost 7,000 minerals. He spent almost 7,000 more minerals in units than the Protoss player did. Um, and his workers active was much higher, taking a huge drop at that very effective Hellbat drop he did when the Terran player did that Hellbat drop and the Protoss player didn't react fast enough. I think that's what is is what caused him to be able to take that big lead in the economy.
Absolutely. Crucifix, I have another burning question for you.
What's that?
What do you think a barbecued probe tastes like?
I've actually had it. You barbecue it slowly, and then you just take the shell off, and inside are like a bunch of components, and it tastes like oil, and it's terrible. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Now, where did you come across this fine dish?
Well, I just went to one of my battles after I was done commanding it, and I found one on the ground, tried it out, did not like it.
Hmm.
But on the other side, Zergling jambalaya is quite tasty.
So that's pretty much Zerg stew, possibly?
Well, jambalaya is like stew, but it has like a bunch of meat, like sausage and like spices and stuff like that in there.
Hmm. Sounds extremely delicious. We'll have to roast us some Zerglings someday.
And it's looking like Spork's gonna play next. So knowing that, I think I'm going to run to the bathroom really quickly here after I get a party invite. If I get one soon, we'll see. We'll see.
We will say.
Uh, let's check up on some Twitch chat. Oh my God,
That
Smithins said these casters are kind of bad, frowny face. You know what, Smithins? You know what I think? I think that we here at WeCasted can take constructive criticism, and we appreciate you viewing today.
absolutely. I mean, we are really bad at casting.
Except we're awesome, so that's the only exception to that. Now, Holt, though, is defending us, so yeah. And you know what, Speedy Fish Gaming, we know what we're saying. We just choose to say crazy, crazy things. It's Smithy. He says it's Smithy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are just waiting here for the next game to start. Sharp. Oh, and I do have a game here. Okay, so while this game everybody gets ready to play this game and they prepare, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, catch a quick drink, and Sharp Eyes here will guide you through the next few minutes of pure excitement.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go join Crucifix in the bathroom.
Oh, not how it sounded. Okay, easy. Okay,
Be right-
we'll be right back.
we will be right back. Hello, hello. So it does look like Crucifix is back, but not really. So yeah, go ahead and start up the game, and I will fly solo for the first few minutes here. And the game will be starting. Switching the camera over. Alright, alright. Looking like Terran player will be spawning in the lower left hand corner here. Team, you are Jawoozy, our winner from last. And he is orange. And spawning in the upper right hand corner here, we have oHHo Spork. Spawning as the, I don't know what color that is, light blue Protoss. Now, Spork does play Protoss quite a bit here. Will be looking like he is tossing down a pylon. So, kudos to you, Spork. Back over on the turn side, we do see that a supply depot is being tossed down here. Judging from Juzy's past play, we see that he does like a Marine Marauder composition.
Indeed.
Looking like Crucifix is back. Welcome back, Crucifix.
What's up, guys?
So players have been introduced here, and
Awesome.
take it from here, Crucifix.
Well, we do have a little bit of Protoss versus Terran. What I would like to see a little bit more of in some PvT matches here is, I think that personally I think that Widowmine drops are just so good versus Protoss because the splash damage will kill all surrounding probes, and if you don't pull it in time, I mean your probes can dive. So say you fill a medevac up with four. Say you fill medevac up with 4 Widowmines, drop those behind the main, bury them, and they all go off before the Protoss player realizes what's going on. Almost every single probe will die, and then you just pick them up and go back to your base. You don't have to worry about microing that drop after it goes down because the timer is now set. The timer is now going, and those Widowmines aren't going to be good for another 30-45 seconds, however long it is. So yeah, you just throw them down, you bury them, kill tons of probes, pick them up and get out of there, and then you can just go back to macroing as normal and use those same 4 Widowmines again in the future for the same kind of drop. Which if they're prepared for it next time, doesn't really matter because you did so much damage already with those Widowmines. You could lose the entire medevac and still be ahead. So I think that I'd like to see more of that come from more Terran players because I think it's very effective. And also. And from the Protoss side, throughout this whole tournament so far, we've seen, really heavy gateway play. Not a single. I don't think we had a single. We had one real Colossi come out of laydown last game, or were they all hallucinated? Do you remember?
I think he did create a few real Colossi.
Yeah, I think he had a couple, but. One
interesting thing to note here, before you go on,
the
Terran player actually is going 1 Rex fast expand here.
Yeah, he is.
While the Protoss player has double gas opener, so.
Oh yeah, you're right, and he did and the Reaper did see this, so we'll see how the Terran player responds to that. Do you think this? Oh, let's see what's building over here. It is looking like a Twilight Council's going down. Very early. Do you think maybe a little bit of DT play might be happening?
Absolutely. DTs are indicative of double gas openers.
And this Reaper may see this Twilight Council, and no, it gets killed. Did he ever see it building?
Let us go to the camera view. He
didn't. So yeah, this Twilight Council, and he does do actually a very good scan. I think he knew that. Oh, but he doesn't quite get. Oh, he doesn't. I guess he doesn't need to know about these other two gateways, but it would have been nice. But he did get the most important information, which is this Twilight Council, and it doesn't look like it's going to be DTs. It's looking like he's going for Blink. Blink Stalker one base play, which is really hard to deal with for coming from Protoss. Blink Stalker is something that I feel like a Blink Stalker all-in is out of all the all-ins that the Protoss can do, which is there's a lot of them. I don't feel like the Blink Stalker is used enough because like a really well-timed, well-executed Blink Stalker push is just really hard. Especially as a Terran player, if you're caught out of position, you have to get back into your base after all those probes are already in there, and it's looking like he is going to push out onto the map with 3 stalkers and 1 probe.
Now back to the Terran player, we do see that he is tossing down 2 bunkers here to prepare himself for the ambush. Do you think that the Protoss player will be successful?
Well, I'm not sure. I really like this this bunker placement because what it does is it doesn't allow. Can he hit that from the low ground? No, he can't. Because so if you build a bunker a little farther back like this, right outside your base, if you think Blink Stalkers are coming into play, this is a really good idea because if he can't hit this bunker from the low ground, it causes him to commit to. Once he blinks up here, he's committed up there for the next 12 seconds until his blink is 10 seconds until his blink is recharged. So if he tried to blink up there, he'd be up there to stay right in the fire of those bunkers. Now he is firing on the natural expansion, and I think he's gonna get it. Oh nope, decides to go right to the main, and it's looking like the Terran player is going into full defense mode. The Terran player should really he should lift it up. He should lift it up and bring it back into his base. He's probably gonna lose at this point. Nothing he can do here if the micro is unless he like does some crazy repair, but yeah, no. So the natural does go down, and the Protoss player might say, you know what, that's enough damage, but nope, he is going to continue, and Blink now is active and working, and so if he wanted to, he could blink up there. That probably would have been a bad idea. So he is just going to go back to his base now that he's killed the natural expansion and taken one of his own, putting himself in a position where he now has a supply lead over the Terran player.
Back over to the Terran player, we do see that he is sitting tight here, making some medevacs and some mines. So he's playing very very defensively in response to the Protoss's aggression. And
what's interesting to note is that even though the Terran player went for a 1 barracks fast expand of sorts, he did not. He still has the same number of SCVs as the Protoss player has probes. So I mean, you do have to say, mules count for a lot too. But the fact that he spent all those minerals and getting that fast expansion, never even got to put it down and mine from it or make any SCVs from it, is really rough. Especially now that the Protoss player not only got to go blink first with an early Twilight Council and all this stuff, he also now has a natural expansion basically before the Terran player does, because the Terran player now has to rebuild, and he's not even done building it again. So. And
it does look like a Sonic Storm will be being researched here in the Templar archives, looking like some similar play as the last Protoss that we saw.
Right, but I think the big difference here is we have I think these Blink Stalkers are going to be really big in being able to help position.
And it will be looking like a drop is going down here. Dropship will be dropping some units over here. Let's see how much damage these mines can do.
Yep, we have 2 Widow Mines going down. Oh, wow! Big explosion there, and 1 Stalker will go down. It's looking like the medevac might go down as well. More probes going down. Very good. Actually, a very effective drop. Going to try to run back into the range of these Widow Mines, and I really like that because the Protoss player doesn't know how much time is left on them and is kind of forced to, that last Marine now will go down, and I'm sure the Protoss player is just going to, and both of those at the gas. Oh, very good drop, and I really see this is kind of how this happens. He does take all of his probes, put them right down to the natural expansion, and now he's not mining at all from his main. And you're like, okay, well, he pulled them all to the natural. He's not losing too much mining time, but he lost, a really good number of probes. If you look at the resources lost, the Terran still is ahead in resource count, but economic wise, that's really what he needed to do to get back in the economy game, because the Protoss player killed his natural, and he was at a significant supply. He was at a significant lead as far as harvester count went, but now the Terran has 9 more harvesters than the Protoss, which is very significant.
The one important thing to note here is that the Protoss did not have any form of detection. I mean, he could
Mm-mm.
have tossed down a cannon
Yep.
over here, but he chose not to, and instead is going
Right.
to build a robo facility in order to chrono boost out an observer, which is taking
Yeah.
considerably longer than just tossing up a cannon. And it does
Right.
look like 2 dropships will be dropping in more mines. Things do not look good here for the Protoss
Uh,
player.
he's completely shutting down. He's completely shutting down all mining for the Protoss player for the time being, and a couple of these stalkers go down in the back to those widow mines. Another zealot will die. The photon overcharge has been activated to try to kill this medevac. I think some stalkers could have caught that and can still catch it if they realize it's there. Meanwhile, it's looking like the observer is there, and the photon overcharge will kill the rest of these mines at the natural expansion. But unfortunately, the Protoss player hasn't been able to mine a single mineral in quite a long time. He will be able to now get back to mining. You'd say, he didn't kill that many probes with that mine drop, but he did kill several army units, and he denied all that mining time. So that's a pretty big deal.
Big deal indeed.
Right,
Going back
right.
here to the Terran player, we do see that he is massing up a small army of Marine Medevac Marauder and is mining comfortably off 2 base. But he actually does not have his natural saturated and could use a little bit of rallying here, as this SCV here is taking a smoke break.
He is indeed, and it's looking like his natural expansion is not rallied anywhere right now. So we are going to see more and more SCVs smoking as they are produced, because he doesn't have a rally point set for his natural expansion, and we actually have several SCVs not doing anything for the Terran player, which is something, especially with Terran, because they're always building stuff all the time. You kind of forget about those extra SCVs, but you really have to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That did rhyme.
It did indeed. So we do have an observer coming over from the Protoss player to keep track of this, to look at and keep track of this Terran army. We'll see if the Terran player spots it to get rid of it, or if he's just going to let it hang out for now.
And
Which is actually a perfectly timed observer, because if he was looking at the minimap or at the Terran base when that happened, he'll see this medevac coming out to the right-hand side of the position to do a double medevac drop. And it's looking like the Protoss player might have seen it and is positioning his units, hopefully, in a position to intercept that. But also maybe he didn't see it, because he doesn't have, besides the cannon over there,
and
he
actually
is...
looks like multiple
Yep,
dropships are
yep.
coming in from both sides.
Oh,
We'll
wow,
see
you're right.
how much damage these drops will do, but the Protoss player will be tossing down 1 cannon,
And 2 at his
two
main.
cannons at his main. So
Yeah, and 1 cannon at his natural.
and
So
it looks
he
like the whole
has, like,
batch will be going down here,
oh,
roasting
yep.
and toasting
Oh,
these
right
these
as
probes.
the-
Oh my god!
right as
And
the
it looks like in the man as well.
No, you need to attack the probes, bro. No, do not do that. Don't attack the cannon. What are you doing? There you go. No, already dead. Okay, so at the natural, though, it's looking like he might have gotten a couple of probe kills there, but not as many as he could have if he had concentrated those probes. The Protoss player never even pulled them. So if he had focused the probes down instead of trying to kill this photon cannon, he could have killed so many. But I mean, he already is at a 38 to 30 harvester count lead, but still, he could have done much more damage with that, much more.
Going back to the Terran player, we do see that his army is sitting tight here. I mean, I think that he's
Hey,
just opting to play very passively while dropping to annoy the Protoss player.
He is, and he is keeping the Protoss player at a supply disadvantage significantly, 84 to 137 right now. Interestingly, both players are supply capped at the same time, which is funny. You don't usually see that. But meanwhile, the Terran player is going to take a third base and try to hopefully get unsupply blocked soon.
And it will be looking like the Protoss army is moving out with 1 real Colossi here. And
Uh,
Mothership Core is taking a detour over here. Crucifix, what do you think this mothership is doing?
yeah, I think it was just making sure there wasn't a gold expansion. Does shut down that drop immediately there, which has to be frustrating to the Terran player. And with
Meanwhile, another drop is coming over here with orange here as he attempts to make some economic damage, but it doesn't seem like those units will be doing much as these cannons over here will be defending it.
absolutely, and he needs to lift this off immediately, which he does. I think he should be able to save that if. Ooh, but
It looks like the Colossi did get flanked. Oh, and one storm
wow,
beautifully
that storm was
destroys
very
so
good.
many units. Look
I
like another
almost
storm.
would have
Oh my
rather.
god, so much
Wow.
damage going on here.
Yeah, very good. Oh my gosh, so much storm, and really, and they're not stopping. That's what happens when you take 6 High Templar out of the field, or however many he has, and that entire Terran army, which was much bigger than the Protoss army, gets completely shut down. It would have helped if he had taken the units that were in his bunker to that battle. Also, I would have liked to see him push forward into the Protoss army when those storms went off and try to, instead of trying to run to the side, because his army was big enough to where I feel like he could have shut down a lot more of the Protoss army than what he ended up being able to do. And now I think the Protoss player knows he's now at a position of advantage. And is going to just sit back and build up his army now that he does have the supply lead that he didn't have a couple seconds ago.
And it does look like both players will be tossing down their thirds, but the Terran player seems to have dropped a bunch of mules here on his expansion and will be mining considerably more than the Protoss.
Yeah, and he's transferring those harvesters over there. If you look at the income tab, the with all those mules right now, the Terran player is mining double the what the Protoss is, and spend. So the Terran player is doing a really good job spending his money right now. Is building 1, 2, 3, 4 more barracks. Is now on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 or 8 barracks now. Which is what you really want to be when you're on 3 bases. Hopefully he's going to put some add-ons onto those barracks so that he can get max production, or maybe he's just going to produce out of them right now so that he can get his army supply up.
And it does look like the Ghost Academy is up. Yeah, some EMPs and some snipes will be expected out of this Terran player. Will he have the APM to successfully execute them?
Oh wow, that was a misguided drop. The Terran player, I'm not sure if you saw it, but Terran player tried to drop into the 3rd base of the Protoss right on top of the army, and there was only 1 probe mining there. I think he did kill that single probe at the cost of 2 Hellbats and a medevac. So it's pretty rough. But we do now see that the Terran player has a 4th base down, but no mules or harvesters are over there. Meanwhile, the 3rd and the natural are fully saturated, which is good. I think the Terran player has kind of forgotten about this 4th base for now while he tries to push out on the map. Does have one of his medevacs full, but is going to empty that out. I think that's probably a misclick, which happens often. Again, I think he should pull these units out of this barracks. I mean, it is good to have some units at home, and so you could keep them in this bunker so that you can use the all army hotkey and not have to worry about the units that you want to keep at home coming with you. But in a position where the supplies are so close and he actually has a supply disadvantage, a lot of times you want your entire army when you're going to try to, and he does take them out. But and he's going to go ahead and refund those bunkers as well. So it is looking like he might be preparing for a big push here. I guess we'll see if the Ghost. I guess we'll see if the Ghost micro is good from this player here.
And actually, it does look like the Protoss has a bunch of idle probes down here on the bottom right-hand corner. Crucifix, what do you think these probes are doing right now?
I think he forgot about that, or he's going to send them into suicide later to free up some supply. But we do see an Archon drop going in to the 3rd base and doing some massive damage. If the Terran player still finally responded to that, and that was some very good damage. If I was him, I would take those Archons and I would get out of there because the entire army is over there. And will it get intercepted? I think it will, and those Archons will die. I think that I guess he he didn't know that the army was on its way. He was probably going to try to chase those SCVs down. But you can kind of assume that if the player pulls if the player pulls his SCVs, his army is going to be on the way. And I think he should have picked up his Archons, maybe either gone into the main or gone home, because going right out the entrance where the Terran player would most likely come from is not the best idea.
Absolutely. It is looking like a bunch of High Templars are geared up and ready to go here, as we do see that the Terran player is still massing some ground forces and some Vikings to shut down these Colossi.
Indeed, they will. And if and on the map right now, or at least
we do see some action going up right here, looking like some. I can't see it, but
the Zealots are trying to do some damage here at this fourth base. They were able to kill a refinery there. One important thing is those Zealots saw those ghosts, so the Protoss player now knows he has some. But as I was about to say, the Protoss player has on the field right now, oh my gosh, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 High Templar, 10 of which are at full energy. Or 8 of which are at completely full energy, which means that the potential for just absolutely massive storms is crazy. I mean, he could literally throw down, he could throw down more than 10 storms at once if he wanted to, which is just, is just so painful when it comes to trying to fight an army of this size.
And we do see the Terran army is moving out right here with a very balanced army.
But I think he's going to back up, maybe try to go to the other side. The Ghost, oh no, he decides to turn around again, looking for those observers to see if the Protoss player knows about this. The Ghosts are right out front, may get stormed themselves, hopefully not. The upgrades are looking at, it's 1 shield to 2 attack for the Terran army, for the Terran player, with only 1/1 for the Protoss. We'll see
and
if
it
that
does look like
comes
Ghosts
into
are
play
moving
here.
in, trying to take out this pylon over
Go
here.
ahead and try to take it.
And the cloak, but looks like they all get melted. But after one EMP.
Here comes some storm. He is just going to sit in that storm, kind of moves to the side, needs to be on the attack command right now, can't just be using the move command, tries to focus down those Colossi. Oh wow, and I think this Terran army is just going to get decimated here. Supply is dropping rapidly. The medevacs try to get out of there. Only 1 makes it, and the rally point was very poor, and he may lose another one. A blink would be really great here. Isn't going to happen. But yeah, that Terran army just got destroyed. But honestly, so it's looking like almost all of those High Templar got turned into Archons. And he's looking like this is the most Archons I've ever seen without. I've never seen a game where there's been more Archons than any other unit like in the army composition. But this is pretty cool. But it is looking like the Protoss player is going to do a counter push here before the Terran player can rebuild his army. And I think that's a really good idea. I'm going to go straight for the third base of the Terran. And we'll see if the Terran player can respond to this.
And it will be looking like that command center is going down here.
Yeah, it's going to go down immediately.
It actually doesn't seem like the Terran army is big enough to actually hold off any attacks from the Protoss at this point.
No, it's not. And I think this is such a bad idea from Spork, because if he just moved right in, he could win. He could have won the game right there. I'm not saying that he's in a bad spot. He's not. He's still ahead. But I think that was a little too passive of him. He really had no reason not to just push straight in, because
actually in retrospect, Archons are actually mostly made out of energy, and one good EMP can just wipe out a bunch of Archons.
That is true, and the Terran player is not lacking in the Ghost department. So, but like now that the army's already back over there, yes, he wouldn't have pushed out against this type of army. But back when he first killed that base, the Terran player didn't have nearly as much as he does now. So, in any case, it is looking like he's going to loop around the other side. The Terran player sees it with a well-placed scan. is looking like he's going to probably take out this fourth base as well. So doing a really good job denying mining for the Terran player, because right now the Terran player isn't mining at all. That's it. That's all the economy gone for our Terran player. So the Terran player is stuck at 84 minerals, and that's what he's going to be at for basically the rest of the game, unless he can get this gold base up and running with mules coming at it and all of his STVs. We'll see how long it lasts. This is very sneaky from the Terran player, and a big engagement goes down. We do see the stim finally at the very end there. Let's see if we can get some of those good EMPs we were talking about. It looks like most of the ghosts are dead, though. He should really back up into these Widow Mines so they can get a little extra damage. The Claw Sight does go down. This is actually a little bit closer of a fight than they have been in the past. Let's see if these Widow Mines can take out this Colossus. It does. And wow, this is so close. We have about 2 Marauders to 3 Stalkers and an Archon. These Marauders over here really need to join this battle. He does not have enough army to not be using them. I'm not sure why they're just sitting there. I think the Terran player is in a little bit but the real problem here is I feel like the Terran player is in a little bit of a he's a little stressed out, trying to micro everything at once. He does finally pull his Marauders over there, but the reinforcements from the Protoss player are better. Do you think that the Protoss player is going to come through here and win it right here?
I believe so.
Oh, actually, maybe not. I mean, he does have Marauders running down from his main base, and now he looks like he has more Marauders than Stalkers. It's really depending on how the micro from these Zealots, but the Zealots went down. The Stalkers will now all die. The blink was very good, but now these Zealots are rushing in, and he does have a High Templar on the field. Doesn't have Storm yet ready, though. So it's looking like the Protoss player is going to go back to his base for now. And really, I think what saved him the game was the positioning, was putting this gold mining base up here, which both players now have a gold mining base. Very, very cool game coming down by both players here. And it's looking like now the Terran player is going in for a counter push, which the Protoss player might not be ready for. Is going to go down to that gold base to try to take it out, and the Protoss player has to respond to this. But I mean, the Protoss player has so much more economy than the Terran player does right now. So I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen here.
And it is looking like the Protoss player is moving out with a small force here, but looking like he will let this base fall.
Yeah, I think he knows. I mean, he already has several expansions, and he knows that he can let one fall while he builds up his army to make sure he has enough to kill this Terran army and then win the game after that, because this gold base is still the Terran's only mining base, and it's oversaturated. If you guys don't know the number, when it says 18 out of 18 or 24 out of 24, depending on what base you're mining from, if you have more than that number, you don't get any more minerals. So him having more than 18
and
minerals,
it does look like another game going on here. Oh my God, will this Nexus go down?
Yeah, for sure. It's not even a question. Nexus is going to go down. He will pull his army in the back though to flank it, and it may go down. I think this has a good chance of dying here if he can't get a good engagement. Needs to fight from the high ground. This is where he wants to fight, right up here. He should go ahead and attack the command here. He doesn't want to let the Protoss player get too far in there. Trying to get a good position against these Zealots, though, as it's really rough when you're attacking Zealots that are coming straight at you like that. Now he's in a position where he is fighting against some very aggressive force with 2 Colossi and Blink Stalkers. The entire Terran army does go down, and he just doesn't have the minerals he needs to rebuild as fast as he wants. Meanwhile, the Protoss player is sitting on 9K.
That is a lot of minerals, my friend.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Terran player, it looks like the Nexus ended up not going down. All the probes were either killed or transferred, though. And so the Protoss player is now back down to 2 mining bases, but that's a lot better than the Terran's 1 mining base. And the Terran player needs to work really hard at trying to get some more minerals to come in. And the Protoss player knows that. That's why he's building a pylon at the potential 3rd. And he's most likely going to move this command center, try to move it back to his 4th base. But I think the Protoss player, I think the Protoss player's main goal right now is to try to shut down as much of the mining of the Terran player as he can. Speaking of which, he's going to move right into this base here, which is so bad for the Terran player.
Looking like a bunch of SVs will get mowed down here. Will this command center go down?
If he pulled probes right now, SCVs right now, he might be able to save it, but nope, it looks like it is going to explode. The SCVs are going to follow this other command center going down to the bottom left-hand corner here, but little does he know that a Protoss base is already being built here, so he should. I mean, I know you're not supposed to send SCVs towards Zealots, but it's better than letting them die like this. Those should be on the attack command, and it's looking like this is going to be GG, in which it is. So great game by Spork there, very close. Good game.
Very good indeed.
Mm. So yeah, good. Third win there for Team oHho. Let's see if we can pull off another one. Whew. So yeah, good game, guys.
Very good game indeed. And it does look like the Protoss player was able to take that game simply because he had so much more minerals.
Yeah, no, it was the economy game for sure. The Terran player was very good at spending his minerals that he got, but unfortunately the Protoss player shut down his economy too hard, and he couldn't produce what he needed to. And also, the Terran player took terrible engagements. He came into a battle with almost 50 more supply than the Protoss army, and left almost every time with significantly less supply. So the engagement micro from the Terran did a lot better. I saw a lot of move command happening, which is important when you're trying to storm dodge, but. There was way too much move command and not nearly enough attack command. And I felt like the advantages that he set up for himself by his macro being very good was negated by the fact that his micro was left a little bit to desire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, macro is the pinnacle of StarCraft 2. I mean, if you didn't macro, what good is micro?
Yeah, if you didn't macro, you'd literally have 7 probes, and then that would be it. So that's not good. And I've heard that 7 probes against an endgame army composition does not hold up.
Well, actually, if those probes got stim packed, there
That's
might
true.
be a small chance.
Because if the maybe like the stim works like with Protoss in a weird way where it like is way more effective, and the probes could turn into like mega probes and just like run over the whole Terran army, that'd be pretty crazy.
Those mega probes can electrocute a whole army of SCVs without hesitation.
Exactly. That tickle beam becomes a giant laser beam of death when it becomes a mega probe.
200 times bigger than that of a Colossi.
Indeed, it's actually like way too big for my graphics card to even handle. And we are here at I think Sharp Eyes, this just may be the WeCastSC2 stream record with 22 people watching. Hello out there. We're very proud of our double digit record at 22.
And it does look like let's see. So it does look like some of our viewers are lagging.
Oh no. That's not good. Wait, let me see.
We're actually trying to figure out what's going on here, as little Skank is going to be casting as well? Question mark.
We're gonna have a third caster coming onto the team?
Apparently not. I mean, Little Skank was talking earlier about how crappy we were at casting, so maybe he's actually trying to overthrow our.
Our casting experience here. Now it's looking like some his main issues that we did not say. Heartland Hitman's Spork. I'm very sorry to all the Heartland Hitman people, including myself. I said oHHo instead because I think it is fun to say. But in case any of you are worried out there, it is Heartland Hitman Spork. So there you go for Little Skank. There you go.
And Heartland Hitman was actually started by our very own oHho Sick, which is the clan leader, and he does host monthly tournaments for all of you guys to participate in if you'd like.
Right, there you go. Okay, so I
So
guess we're gonna find out how. I guess we're gonna find out who's gonna play next here.
we actually do have a request for a lower quality stream here. Uh, if you are lagging, please type one, and it, and if we get enough people, we will lower the quality of the stream by 480p.
Right. Like, unfortunately, the way this works is that, um, fortunately, well, you don't have to type one. You can say I'm lagging if you'd like, but like the way it works is if you're not a Twitch partner, you can only stream at one quality, which is unfortunate, um, but because we can only stream at 720p or at 480p or whatever quality we want to, and it's streaming at a lower quality can help those that have lag, and then but it also is a detriment to those who don't. So it's so yeah, let's just figure out how many of you are lagging, and if it's the majority, then we'll go ahead and lower that down.
Yeah, unfortunately, we actually would like to provide more options, but we are not partners on Twitch, and therefore can only specify one setting, which is absolutely terrible.
Right.
Alright, so it does look like a few people are lagging. Crucifix, would
I
you want
mean,
to restart the stream at 480?
yeah. I mean, if to comment, you need a Twitch profile, and there are like 4 people out of our 22 who both have one and are lagging. So I feel like there could be more that don't have one and also are also lagging. So let's go ahead and just lower it down so that everybody can enjoy the stream as much as possible.
Alright, so we will be momentarily disconnecting here, and we will be back on in about 20 seconds, so see you then.
Okay.